February 4th today. We got another big dumping of snow yesterday and overnight. Basically, after that last big snowfall we had, which was, about a half a meter, 50 centimeters, we had a couple days of warm weather and then a bit of rain. So most of that washed away. So pretty much everything that's accumulated on the tables is fresh. That's another 20 centimeters, 25 centimeters probably. Anyways, I just keep dumping all the fresh powder into there to keep those covered up. Nice and insulated by all the snow. And then all the other ones are in there. They've got some snow on them. They're really protected from the wind. They get just a little bit of indirect sunlight throughout the day. I think it's a pretty good spot for all my hardy trees. I don't know, we'll see how they fare over this winter. Everything looks good now, but got another couple months still and until nice spring temperatures start coming in. Got a couple things to do with the indoor plants. I just posted the Christmas cactus video recently. And actually, I pruned that a few weeks ago now, and it's already shooting out new leaves. New buds are coming out. I don't know if you can call them buds. They're just the leaves and then they just keep getting bigger. So I'll head inside now and show you what's going on with the indoor plants, the indoor setup. I can't wait until probably around mid-March is when I'm gonna do my big outdoor pruning on this huge grapevine that grew a ton of grapes last year. I pruned it back really hard, down to the first bud at each node, and it produced really well. Lots of huge branches everywhere. There's one that comes up way here, or it ends all the way down here, and it snakes up and around, comes all the way down there through the gate, or what's it called? Through the railing part of the stairs and connects to the bottom of the main trunk there, or one of the main branches. And I'm pretty sure that is just all new growth from last year, because I didn't leave anything growing through the railing like that when I pruned it back, which was in April or something, which was probably too late because it bled quite a bit. It leaked a lot of really watery sap. It still produced really well over the year, but I'd like to minimize any bleeding, do all my outdoor pruning a little bit earlier this year. Also, with the big quince over there, the rose of Sharon, these spindle bushes, my roses over there, the big persimmon, which just grew like crazy last year. It's wild how long some of those top branches are. Cedar, I might be digging that up and putting in a large pot and taking with me. I don't think the landlord wants it there, so we'll see what happens there. And then there's the big, whatever you call that thing back there, Wigalia or something. And then the apricot, which grew like crazy. Pear, which I had pruned back to almost nothing last year, so that grew like crazy too. And the other apricot, I'm going to try, I know I said this last year too, but I'm really gonna try to air layer this one, right, I think right around there, so I can take this big top part with me in a big container. I think I'll leave this one as the main kind of branch coming out this way, prune it back to there, so the overall shape of this tree will be something like that. All the fruit need to be accessible because it fruits a lot, so I want to grow it outwards rather than upwards. So I can't wait to do all this pruning. There's a couple other things going on here. This is a, what's it called? I think a redbud, eastern redbud tree or something like that. Anyways, it's beautiful in the spring when it flowers, those little red buds that come out everywhere. It's awesome. So I'm gonna let that go, but I need to do some pretty heavy pruning on this tree. I didn't cut anything back there last year. That's the main leader of the tree. I think I'm just gonna kind of top that a little bit because I really like it up there for privacy, and you know, it looks really cool. And you know, just kind of prune it for shape. But also I need to get rid of, oops, snow just fell on my face there, that's nice. I need to take it off here because it's growing through the slats of this little, you know, arch here. So eventually that's just gonna get too thick and not be good for the arch. So I'll just cut it off now and then train these two to come out this way and kind of grow up in this direction. And then I'll have kind of like, you know, almost a triple trunk tree coming out this way with some smaller branches coming out here. I don't know, we'll see. Anyways, that's the plans for probably mid to late March. I'll head inside and show you what's going on there. Okay, February 10th today, and I finally got around to filming my inside plants. Some succulents. These are mother of millions here. There's the main tree or plant, which almost died off but is still alive, and these are a bunch of little ones that came off of it. This is my lemon tree, which there's where I made that pruning cut sometime in the fall or late summer, I think it was. The first couple leaves grew in really well, perfect, and then I brought it inside and it started getting some insect issues. There was some, you know, some sort of crawler, I think it was. I started spraying, you know, a dish soap and water combination at this point. The leaves got a little bit smaller because I think the insects, you know, stunted it a little bit, but you can see they started getting less and less. There's a bunch on this one, but the new leaves are looking really clean. There was a couple that I pull off every now and then, some adult ones crawling around, but overall the leaves are looking really good. I think I more or less controlled that. I'm pretty sure these are the little kind of egg, you know, egg sacs, or the little structures they build so that they can suck the sap out of the veins of the leaves. That's why they're kind of in that pattern. Anyways, I'm gonna prune this lemon eventually down to here. There's a little bud that wants to pop open. Let it grow in the summer outside. Everything else looks really good. The willow leaf ficus has been growing again. The ficus microcarpa also growing fresh stuff that's been dealing with the same insect issue. What I really wanted to show here is the Christmas cactus. This is one of the cuttings. Not the cuttings, this is one of the other ones that was growing in the pot with the main one. You can see it's growing some new leaves already. But this is the main one, the one that I'm training as a bonsai, and you can see pretty much everywhere there's new growth coming out. I didn't get any pictures or videos earlier, but it's been happening for about a week now. And you can see there's another kind of second round of growth. Everything's popping out, more fresh stuff. So that's looking really cool. I've got my crown of thorns spread around. This is one of the small ones. It also was dealing with those bugs, and they got hit really hard and started dying back everywhere. But now there's a bunch of good green growth coming out of all the tips, so that's really good news. Little cactus. These are our money plants. This is the main one. This is a little pup that grew out of it. They're both doing really well. There's that tiny little pine seedling. Microcarpa cuttings are doing really well. Some more cuttings down there. And then willow leaf cutting. Yep, everything's looking really good. These are more Christmas cactus cuttings that I put in here in these little cells. And then this other plant that's not doing so well. Kind of babying it down there. And that's it. That's the indoor setup for the winter. I should be able to get everything back outside in a couple months. Can't wait for that. February 12th today. It was really warm the last couple days. Everything melted. It rained a whole bunch. And a lot of this snow melted. That's where I was mixing my soils up. So yeah, we got a ton of rain. Today it's -3, feels like -9 Celsius. The humidity here is pretty high. So there's a bunch of ice. This one's pretty bad. A bunch of ice frozen in these buckets here. I threw some water into these ones yesterday because I hadn't watered them at all since I put them in there, and there was a couple warm days, so I figured I'd give them a little bit. And a little bit up there too in the back. All the snow had melted, so everything's right frozen. Hopefully they'll be okay. I'm sure they will. Maybe that's just good insulation for the roots in the soil there. Can't wait to prune these. I got some big pruning tasks ahead of me, that's for sure. There's the Rose of Sharon all finished up over there. I think I'll eventually work my way clockwise around the yard, the garden, getting all the plants around the perimeter of the property, finishing up with the big one, and then the grapevine probably sometime in March. I'd say hopefully before mid-March, I guess. I think it'll start warming up fairly early this year, so that sap will start flowing. Last year it bled like crazy. Still produced. I think I said that already. Anyways, moving on. February 14th today, Valentine's Day. We got about 3 or 4, maybe 5 centimeters of snow last night. Today, even though it's cold, feels like -12 or something. It was cold earlier. It's warming up through the day because it's so sunny. The sun is melting snow on the roofs and it's dripping. Down here, I'm digging my way through all the crusty frozen snow that had been rained on multiple times. This is just a sheet of ice, probably 2 or 3 centimeters thick, just covering the rest of the backyard. This part didn't get icy because I kept shoveling it, but over here it would snow and then rain and then snow and then rain, so it's just crusty blocks of, frozen fluffy snow. Anyways, getting rid of that so I can access the next pruning task, which is this evergreen spindle over here. It's got a real interesting movement in the trunk. I'll show that a bit closer up once I get closer to it. Let's get the snow out of the way. Alright, well, now that I've made it into the corner here, almost all the way to the corner, still some more snow to remove there, but I've realized I'm going to have to prune back this rose first so that I'm not stabbing myself with it as I prune back the spindle there. I think I can get a better look at the trunk system from here. It's pretty interesting. There was a lot of growth on it last year. I pruned it back in the spring, and then anyways, so this rose pruning will be my next video. And also on that one, I think I'm gonna prune back this one's a common persimmon tree that's just growing up through the paving stones. I'm pretty sure, even though it's pretty far away from this big, I'm pretty sure this is a Japanese quince. Nope. It's I'm pretty sure this is is it a Chinese persimmon tree? It's a different kind of persimmon, probably with nicer fruit. And then I'm thinking the rootstock is probably common persimmon that's better adapted to the cold here. So anyways, even though it's far away, I think it threw a sucker out of the roots way out here, just where it found a crack through the paving stones. But anyways, I'm gonna prune that back. I'd like to turn that into a potted plant, see what happens with it. Maybe a bonsai, see what it can develop into. We'll cut it back as well. It needs to be a lot shorter, more manageable when I dig it up in the spring, put it in a pot. Today's February 16, and if you can believe it, it's about +8 or 9 degrees Celsius. It's really windy today though, as you can tell. We're expecting a lot of rain tonight and tomorrow, so I've held off doing any more yard tree pruning until then. Once it's dry and, reasonable temperatures, then I'll just get cracking on it and do a whole bunch of them really quickly, hopefully. But until then, this is what things look like. Hopefully that snow and ice will melt today and the rain will wash away the rest of it. And I can see the ground. Any rabbits that come around won't be able to get up and chew on my buds. All right, that's it for now. February 18th, after another nice helping of snow. It had been raining the last couple days and really warm, like +10, so everything melted. Yesterday afternoon there was no snow at all on the ground, and then last night and overnight we got another 20-25 centimeters. Happens pretty quick around here. Lots of weather shifts back and forth. It's a confusing winter. Let's hope the trees aren't as confused and they end up okay. February 25th. It's just the next day now, and we had a lot more snow than we were expecting overnight. Wow. It was only supposed to be like 5 centimeters. This is 15 at least. Anyways, hydrangeas are nice and buried, so I'm gonna have to wait till those get free again before I finish up the pruning. So, time to just be patient and wait for this snow to go away. Getting my shoveling done. This was a lot of snow. It was supposed to be 5 centimeters. I mean, it kind of looks like that on the tables because it was really windy and all the snow blew off until it started settling. This is the real depth. That's, you know, pretty much like I said, close to 20 centimeters. Yeah, about 4 more times, or 4 times more than they predicted. Trees are all bundled up, toasty, insulated by all the snow. Hope they're doing okay and not trying to bud out. You know, it's been really warm and then cold and then warm and then cold, back and forth for months now. It's just confusing the hell out of me and probably the trees too, so anyways.